Hello, it's Steve Dragon, um, taking a video on my phone, so it's backwards, but that's the way it is for now. I've been encouraged by one of my mentors, Holly Fire Mead. I'm working with her in a Bob Proctor program and Sandy Gallagher program called Thinking into Results. It's a very, very excellent program, highly recommended, and it has got me doing a lot of thinking about different things. The thing I want to talk about today is purpose. There's an article at the end of one of these lessons called The Common Denominator of Success. It's by Albert E.N. Gray. He says here, perhaps you've been discouraged by a feeling that you were born subject to certain dislikes peculiar to you, with which successful people are not afflicted. Perhaps you've wondered why it is that those who accomplish most seem to like to do the things that they don't like to do. You get that? People who are successful will do the things that they don't like to do, or like to do the things they don't like to do. He says they don't. And I think this is the most important and encouraging statement I've ever offered any person. But if they don't like to do these things, then why do they do them? He says, because by doing the things they don't like to do, they can accomplish the things they want to accomplish. Now let me repeat that. Successful people are influenced by the desire for pleasing results. Failures are influenced by the desire for pleasing methods and are inclined to be satisfied with such results as can be obtained by doing things they like to do. I have been for 46 years, I guess, in the industrial piping industry, drafting and graduating to computer drafting in later years. Loved it. Loved it. I've always been passionate about my work. But I wasn't a failure. I don't never considered myself a failure. But he says, so that's kind of a strong word here, but influenced by the desire for pleasing methods and inclined to be satisfied with such results as can be obtained by doing things they like to do. I didn't get the results I really would have liked, like financial independence, freedom. I worked for a company, and so I was always, I hope this isn't too strong, I was always their slave, basically. So what he's saying here is that successful people do the things that they don't like to do. That has brought me this week thinking a lot about purpose. The company I work with is Niken. They have a training program called Humans Being More. The very first one I took, almost 14, coming up on 14 years ago. They have a little thing about purpose, and it boils down to a single word in this exercise they do. The single word I got then was warmth. I've thought about, remembered that ever since then, 14 years. Never done an awful lot with it. That kind of means to me relationships. Relationships have been a difficult thing all my life. I'm a lot better now than I was then. But warmth for my purpose. I've been thinking a lot more about purpose this past few days. I've been reading a book by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. It looks at it a little differently. The why thing, this thinking to results, has a lot to do with goals. And there's actually a point in here that says the why doesn't matter so much, it's what you're doing. Well, semantics, I guess, but in your heart, you need to know why you're doing things. You want to know what your purpose is. And I wondered that for quite a few years. I've come up in different programs, different books, different things I've done and read, come up with what I thought was my purpose. But, it never motivated me to do the things that I didn't want to do. So I never did them. So that's where I'm at right now, trying to figure out what will get me to do those things I don't want to do. That's a hard one. Most people, I think, will not do the things they don't want to do, even though they're taught and they even believe, perhaps they even believe that doing those things will get them the success that they want. They will not do that because it's uncomfortable. That's my excuse. That's what happens with me. So hopefully by the weekend I will come up with I've got a whole page so far of possible purposes that will motivate me, spur me on to do things that are hard for me, things that I've been inclined to not do in the past. It's hard, and I totally believe that if I can get off this dime and do some of these things that I really don't want to do, things that successful people do, I will find that success. I will report back. I encourage you to look at why you're doing things, your purpose. Why are you on this planet? Why are you where you are right now with your talents and your skills that you have been blessed with? Surely there is something that you ought to be doing that you're not doing yet. I'll bet that's the case. I think that probably accounts for like 80% of us. In fact, I read that somewhere in the last couple of days, that a good, probably 80% of people don't really do all that they're capable of doing. And it may be even higher than that, maybe more like 90 or 95% that don't do what they're capable of doing. I will get back to you. I will report back. Hopefully you can come up with a better purpose than I've been able to come up with so far. Work on that. You will be happy you did. Thank you very much for watching. Steve Dragon, talk to you later.